What's up everyone, and welcome today to our Hisn Kayfa guide. This is a guide that is very repeatable for anybody despite any situation that might happen with the Ottomans allying AQ or any of the other political alliances that will happen in the region. So the first thing we're going to go over is the estates. I only take a very few amount of privileges at the start, and we take a few later on. So for the Ulema, we'll take the admin power, take the monthly negative piety accelerator. Mysticism is very important for this campaign. Oversight of the Ulema, and the religious diplomats. From the emirs, we take the monthly mill power, right of council. We're going to wait on increased levies to take that later on. We'll give them a supremacy, and that should do for now. For the merchants, we take the dip power, the prestige from patronage of the arts, indebted to the burghers, and the free enterprise. From the domini, we're just going to be giving them the domini liberties for now. We can give them some more stuff later on. These loans are small, but we'll be able to repay them and use them for a lot of different things. Next, we'll seize land and summon the Diet. Now, this is a very important interaction. We are always going to take the Ulema click because this will give us claims on a lot of stuff in Qara Qoyunlu. This is a lot of provinces here, and we're going to be needing these claims in order to go to war in December. Next, for the government interactions, we're going to be taking the lenient taxation for the Diplo reputation. Now we see that our rival slot is available. The only option that we have is AQ. We are not going to select that rival because if the Ottomans ally AQ, that will hinder our ability to ally the Ottomans in the near future. We need the Ottomans as an ally for this strategy to work. For our decisions, we're going to take both the title of Khalifa for the prestige and the religious unity for mysticism, as well as the missionary strength. Now, we check our advisors. We do actually have a Diplo rep advisor. If you don't have one, that's not a big deal. The only difference is we'll have to improve relations at a later date instead of royal marrying the Ottomans first, but we'll take the Dip rep advisor because we can. Definitely can't afford him, but I think we'll be able to survive on a little bit of debt here. That will allow us to royal marry the Ottomans on day one instead of having to improve relations with them. So if you have to improve relations with them for a little while, that's fine. Do that, but we can, so we will royal marry them. And with our other diplomat, we are going to offer an alliance to Ajam. Perfect. Now we go over to our missions. This is completed. We're not going to select this yet. We want to make sure we get the infantry compatibility from the Ottomans being our ally. So we'll wait until we ally the Ottomans on that. We see prepare for war. We need 80% manpower and 100% of force limit. So our manpower is actually pretty close to the cap. And our force limit is at 4 out of 6. So we're actually just going to build 2 regular units instead of the free company. And when those units build, and this will go back up to 8,000-ish, we'll get that mission completed for the claims on Qara Qoyunlu, or AQ rather, and Bitless. So we'll unpause and wait for our diplomats to come back in a few days. Okay, our diplomats are back. So the first thing we're going to do here is improve relations with the Ottomans. And they did ally AQ. They do this most games. And we are also going to do a royal marriage on Ajam with the other diplomat. And now we're just going to wait until we can ally the Ottomans. If you want to, you can do a scornful insult on the Mamluks. That'll let us ally them a little bit faster because it improves their opinion of us, but by 25. So that's a way to spend some of that prestige that we gained earlier. Alrighty, so we did get the force limit. So we're going to get the 40 tradition general, some morale, and some recovery speed, as well as a permanent claim on all neighboring provinces. So again, that gives us the claim over here, as well as on Bitless. While we wait for the Ottomans, we're also going to be improving relations with Ajam, just to use the diplomat effectively. We want to make sure we have high relations with both of the targets. If you want to, you can turn off your fort and turn your army maintenance down in the meantime. We're not going to be going to war until after the Ottomans are our allies. So when the Ottomans' relation towards you flips to friendly, they'll automatically lose that malice, and we can get the alliance. Now that we have the alliance, we can fire our Dip Rep advisor. We don't need him anymore. And we can turn our army maintenance and our fort back on. Our general that we got was not very good, but we can see what our rulers and our heir have. I think we'll just let our heir be the ruler. That's fine. Now that the Ottomans are our allies as well, we can take this mission that gives us the shock damage and infantry compatibility. Really beneficial. And now that our armies are full morale, we can do what this strategy is. This is just so broken. So what we can do here is you can promise the Ottomans and the Ajam land. Ajam will be mad, but the Ottomans won't be, because the Ottomans actually cannot take any land in Qara Qoyunlu. So what we are going to do is we're going to attack Qara Qoyunlu, and we're going to promise the Ottomans and Ajam land. So the very important thing to note here is that we need to be occupying a lot of this stuff ourselves, because the Ottomans and Ajam will want it for themselves. So when we declare the war, we need to make sure that we get Baghdad. That's very important, and all of this stuff down here, because we do have missions to have this stuff, and if we can get it in the first war, that would be more beneficial. So before we start the war, we're going to be setting all this stuff as prime interest, because we do need all this stuff for our missions in the future. All right, let's finally declare the war over here. Make sure that we promise land to the Ottomans and Ajam. We have to be very careful because QQ has a lot more troops than us, and they will probably march right towards us to try and stack wipe us. So let's try and just clear the war, and we're going to sit in our capital and pray they don't come out of the fog of war. One thing that you can do as well before the war starts or when the war starts is build the free company. I think it's definitely recommended to do it because a lot of the time QQ will probably come out of nowhere and stack wipe you in my test that I've done. So we're going to go ahead and build a free company and have them attached to our main stack. So a 10 stack should be fine to deter the enemy from just trying to march on top of us. Let's attach that to the first army. We will not start to take some debt, but that's fine. We'll be able to pay that off really quickly. It's only 3 ducat loans. I will turn on allow attach just in case the Ottoman stacks want to attach to mine. That way they don't take the occupations. So we got to try and intercept this 2 stack here. That could be bad. Now that allow attach is on, if he does attach, there he goes. Now I just stole the siege from him. Enemies marching towards us, so we'll go ahead and group up our units. Ottomans are on their way. Now that the Ottomans are here, we should be pretty safe to occupy all this stuff ourselves. Now that we're occupying some of this stuff, we have some more trade power in Persia. We can go ahead and send our merchants to transfer trade from Persia. We're going to take war reps and money from the war ally here. So that's 30 ducats. That'll survive us a little bit. We get some of that. The war reps are the most important thing, though, because we get all of those. So just a little bit, but a little bit helps. When the war is half over, you can get rid of your free company. So I only have these guys now. I actually didn't disband them myself, but they just died on their own. That's fine. The Ottomans didn't follow me into a battle, but at this point, I would recommend definitely getting rid of them. You're not going to lose your last 6k units anyways, so you don't need them anymore. They were helpful for getting these occupations. We got everything we actually didn't need. I would have liked to get Elam, but that's okay. But we have everything else that we need. So in the peace deal, we want to take all of this. These 5 provinces are really important. If we don't get the occupancies and somehow Ajam gets them, we need to go back and make sure that we can get them because this unlocks some missions for us. So we'll go ahead and take this plus money. And what we will do for sure is we are going to concentrate this dev and we'll go over to our missions. It's important to take this one before we do any coring. It gives us 10% CCR and a flat -10 aggressive expansion, plus a bunch of permanent claims. We also get the secure Mesopotamia for 100 admin, as well as local dev cost in Baghdad, which we will be using to spawn the Renaissance. The permanent claims are also very nice, so that increases our routes for expansion quite tremendously. We do have to fix our debt problem, but that should clear itself up hopefully pretty shortly. I will buy this down one time and I will core this up, and we need to make sure that we're not going bankrupt. So let's go ahead and try and pay off some of these loans. I will turn down my army maintenance for a little bit, and hopefully we don't go bankrupt. 16 loans is the max. Makes me very nervous. We also take this mission for the appease the Ulema, going towards mysticism, as well as allowing the clerical advisor council without the stab cost bonus. So we will eventually be giving that away. Actually, might as well do it now. After this war is over, we need to make sure that we curry favors with the Ottomans. We need to get 50 favors with them to make sure that they break their alliance with AQ. Sometimes they'll break it naturally on their own, but the guaranteed way to do this is to make sure we get 50 favors so we can use them to invade our neighbor here. Otherwise, our next target was Mushasha for sure. So we will go ahead and match rivals with Mushasha, and pretty shortly we can actually declare war on them after we've kind of recovered a little bit. The Ottomans might call you into war like this, that's fine. We are living on a bankruptcy, so we have to make sure that we don't participate until our core is finished. Once the core is finished, our problems will be solved. We could have taken this a while ago, but we can go ahead and take the increased levies as well. That'll increase our recovery speed and our max manpower by a little bit. Now that the Renaissance is here, we can get ready to dev that in Baghdad. We could also wait for colonialism, but I think the Renaissance is more valuable. Now that we have these cores finished, we can go ahead and state it and full core it. We'll be statifying everything, even in Persia. I think it's just more valuable than trade companying Persia, especially when we're expanding this way in the early game. Making those into states is just more beneficial. We go ahead and take our Mil Tech. Getting Tech 4 ahead of time is very important. That way when we go to war with anybody who's not Tech 4, we can slaughter them like Mushasha here. Make sure we set our focus to admin. I think because we're expanding so quickly in the early game, it's definitely more beneficial to do that. And our cores are almost done, so we can start statifying everything. So we're going to be spending a lot of the admin that we've built up. And the cores have finished, so we can go ahead and statify everything. Just the 2 states. We'll core it all up. Now that our states have finished, what we can do is go over to the local autonomy tab. And what we're going to do is we're going to reduce autonomy in every single province. That will help. That will make rebels happen, but it's definitely worth it because we're going to start making actually some real money here. And we need that money to pay off our loans and make sure that we don't have a bankruptcy problem. We have 25 loans. We can have up to 28. I want to make sure that we can have up to 5 loans more than what we have. That way we can fix our economy with the burger loans. 32 out of 25. Perfect. We can make it happen. Okay, now that that's not a problem, let's go ahead and take the indebted to the merchant guilds. That will give us a bunch of money to fix our loans with. And we'll definitely pay off all the 4%ers. Now we should be fine to take out as many loans as we want. Perfect. We're making money. We can turn our maintenance back up a little bit. And we can set our rivals. I think we will just rival QQ. And we'll wait to rival AQ again as well later on. We will be making money after we get the reinforcements finished, so we'll go ahead and reinforce our units, and then we should be making a good amount of money. And we'll deal with our rebel problems, and then after the rebels are done, we'll deal with Mushasha. The Timurid War did pop. Ottomans usually allies Transox. They did in the last couple times I've done this. So it's probably beneficial, actually, to improve relations with Transoxiana. They're a good ally to have, because it's another deterrent from the Ottomans breaking their alliance with you, or declaring war on you eventually if they want your stuff being allied with their allies. So you have the option to invade or befriend Persia at some point. Sometimes after the war, they might break alliance with you because you didn't give them land even though you promised it to them. That's not a big deal. So if they do call us to arms, we can accept or decline. It doesn't matter. I think that it's probably more beneficial for these early stages of the game to be friends with the Ajam, to use them in our wars with any potential neighbors. So we're going to go ahead and accept for now. Once we have the ability to border them and core their stuff, we'll probably break that alliance, wait out the 5-year truce, and invade them, because we'll be able to beat them pretty easily at a certain point in the near future, probably after our second war with Qara Qoyonlu. Go ahead and accept that war. They can probably handle it on their own, but we'll just make sure that we're not taking too much debt while we wait. I do need to make sure I have enough units to beat the rebels, so we're going to go ahead and pop a couple more units down. I want to make sure I have at least 10. Actually, it looks like Mamluks are doing us a favor by basically annulling Mushasha's alliances. So we're going to go ahead and declare that war now, I think. We can deal with the rebels as they spawn. So once our units are grouped up, we'll deal with the Mushasha. They only have 5,000 troops, so we should be able to occupy everything. This level 3 fort being the big problem, but once we get a hold of everything here, we'll full annex them. All right, let's declare the war. The rebels will pop, so we'll have to deal with them at some point, but might as well do this now. Okay, Mamluks tried to conquest for this province here from Yemen, but now they're just at war with these guys, and they can't really take anything for land, so I don't know when they're going to peace out, but they will eventually. Hopefully we don't get called for peace, because I really don't want it. They did unconditionally surrender to me, so that would be unfortunate if we start getting war exhaustion for nothing, but it is what it is. And this is probably not repeatable in a lot of your games, but AQ will not have any allies. Ottomans won't back them up. Ajam won't back them up. Shirvan won't back them up. So I'm actually going to declare war on AQ here as well. And let's do that. Mamluks peaced out, so we can take everything from Mushasha. Go ahead and send that demand. We will be concentrating the dev here. And we also complete the Conquer Basra, so we get 10 for every owned province with a trade building. I don't know if we have any trade buildings, but I'll take the permanent claims. Nope, so we don't get any money, but that's fine. Looks like Ajam doesn't actually own 30 provinces, so they don't qualify for the Sultan and the Shah. Might have to actually conquer that ourselves. That's fine. And I just took tech, so we're going to be a little overextended for a time. Maybe that was not the right idea, considering we have to actually core this stuff as well, but we'll go ahead and deal with the rebels when they come. In the instance that this isn't a favorable war for you, you can just, again, use your favors. We're almost to 50 favors with the Ottomans. They were allied to Ajam as well, and we do have quite a few favors with them, 20. So if I did need them to break alliance with AQ, I would be currying favors with Ajam. After the QQ war, which would actually be able to full annex them. Let's take a look here. Not quite, but we should be able to take most of the Qara Qoyunlu's land in the next war. And if we call Ajam in as well, they will have that truce with them synced up with ours. And after that war, we can break the alliance with Ajam, and they will become our next target. One thing I forgot to do, I should have rivaled AQ before this war. So in your run, make sure you actually do that. Otherwise, you're wasting your power projection potential. So make sure to actually set your rivals. That's one thing that I commonly forget to do. Because we went into the mysticism route, I'm actually going to do a little bit of an exploit here. You can do it if you want. We're going to slacken our standards. It does cost 1 professionalism. If you need that, just hire a general. Go over to religion, and we're going to select this. That gives us 10,800 manpower. So we're getting really close to the cap with that. And we can go back here and turn off these slacken standards. So that's pretty much a way to cheese that interaction to get more manpower than you deserve. Otherwise, we would have only gotten like 3,000 manpower. So that'll let us keep conquering without having to deal with this value here. So the manpower will not be an issue. We're going to sit in this war until we get call for peace, because we are lacking in the admin power. We need about 287 to full core all of this stuff. And as for the Ottomans, we need to make sure that we are friendly with them, because I do believe that they want this stuff. So because they want these 3 provinces, they might not want to be our friend after we peace out of this war. And we do want to make sure we get the Sublime Alliance here, because this will give us an end of the game modifier that is better than this option, which is just giving us some points. So the end of the game modifier, definitely better. You can actually get this by allying pretty much anybody else who's of the Sunni faith. So that is pretty decent. So if Ottomans don't want to be your ally, it's fine. You can get somebody else. Like in my last game, I got Transoxiana as my ally in order to complete the same mission. Otherwise, Ajam should qualify as well. We are lacking in our admin. We need 294. We are going to finish the war, though, because I just don't want to sit in getting war exhaustion, because we have call for peace. So let's go ahead and send that demand for all their money plus the provinces. I really don't think we can concentrate, but we'll double check just in case. We can, at least out of these 2 provinces. 5 dev goes away. That's fine. We do get the base of the Turkmen, so we get some permanent claims on stuff in the Anatolian province. We also get the Fate of Anatolia, so that gives us some bonus dip rep as well for the Sublime Alliance. And we need to make sure the Ottomans like us in order for that to happen. They do want our provinces, and hopefully they don't break the alliance. In my last game, they did break the alliance because they wanted those 3 provinces over here, so hopefully that doesn't happen here. We can get them as our friend. And then invade Syria. We do need this province here to get Saladin's legacy, so keep that in mind, that if they invade Dul-Qadir, you will need to eventually betray the Ottomans, but it should be fine. If we use them to beat on the Mamluks, we can gain a lot of more power here, and then they will become the final boss. In my last campaign, I had to ally the Mamluks instead to help us invade the Ottomans, and then the Mamluks became the final boss, so it just depends on your situation. If the Ottomans want to be your friend, use them against the Mamluks. Make sure you declare the wars so that they have the same truce timers as you. So if you invade Syria and do all the other stuff, it should help you out. Once you do that, though, they'll probably want to break their alliance with you, which is fine. They've served their purpose in helping you against the Mamluks, and you can go invade them. In my run in particular, I made sure to release Karaman as well as Eretania to Reconquest. In the next war, I made sure to release Byzantium to Reconquest, and then the 3rd war, I released Serbia as well as Bulgaria for another Reconquest. So I used 3 Reconquests against the Ottomans, so keep that in mind as an option for you. From here, I'm going to make sure I core everything. From these guys, I'm actually going to delete the forts. I don't think they're... This fort's valuable. This fort here definitely isn't valuable, so at least delete this one. We do have our fort here in Hisn Kayfa, which will serve a much better purpose. It's a much better fort. I will keep this fort here. It is in preferable terrain, and this one as well should be fine. You could delete it if you want to save some money, but I think I'm just going to keep it for the foreseeable future. You're losing a lot of money at the moment, but that shouldn't be a problem after a time. We keep fueling our economy with our conquests. Don't be afraid to take some debt if you have to. For the first reform, I recommend taking the curtail the noble privileges. That 15% tax is really good. Also, getting that influence down is pretty decent as well. At some point in the later game, if you really want to stack the manpower for getting Saladin's legacy, you can go ahead and switch over to strengthen noble privileges. But I think overall, the curtail is probably the best click for the early game, so we'll go ahead and do that one. So for the Sublime Alliance, we need 80 trust. The Ottomans currently have 60 with us, so we do have our favors. So let's use those favors for trust to get at least 20. Beautiful. Now we just need to get 7 relations with them, and we should be able to get the mission completed. So let's find out a way to do that. Let's go ahead and scornful insult the Mamluks again. That should put us over the limit, and it does. And that gets us the Sublime Alliance. So this gives them a historical friend modifier, which should basically... hopefully prevent them from wanting our provinces. Now, if we can get Syria before they do, that should allow us to use them against the Mamluks. So that should be a #1 priority after doing this, if you're able to. Again, sometimes they want your provinces, and you'll have to find another way to fight them by either allying the Mamluks to help you or somebody else in Europe. In this game, particularly, the Ottomans actually aren't that strong. They have not conquered Byzantium just yet, so they're a little behind, but getting this is really helpful. We also get 10 Janissaries, so make sure that your force limit can handle them. We are a little bit over force limit once we get them. That's fine. We can consolidate those Janissaries together. So we'll go ahead and do that. Also, the end of the game modifiers for land leader shock is really good. So let's see. Ottomans, I will lose these 4 claims. That is fine, but we'll be okay. So let's go ahead and take this. Ottomans don't even have any claims on me yet, which they will get them after they invade Karaman, so that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Lost those claims, it's fine. So Syria is a vassal of the Mamluks. If we can invade the Mamluks with the Ottomans' help, after they owe us some favors. We should be able to. So that should be our next target, actually, is starting to invade the Mamluks. Maybe we are moving a little bit fast, but I think I'm going to try to do the war with the Mamluks. They do have more men and manpower than us, so this could go poorly, but you have to try sometimes. So I would recommend probably taking Damascus as the war goal. That's the highest debt province in Syria. And if we can occupy all of this and take it for ourselves, that is ideal. If the Ottomans need an occupation, that's unfortunate. They do want all these provinces as vital interest, so there's no point in really selecting it as our vital interest. They'll never give it to us. So if we go ahead and occupy all that stuff, we should be fine. Yeah, I think we just declare the war and see how it goes. All right, let's declare the war for Damascus. We'll try to get on Haleb as fast as possible. And also, I'm going to see if I can't send a 1 stack somewhere to occupy something that the Ottomans might be able to. Yeah, definitely send him there. We'll probably send him here as well. Hopefully they don't get stack wipes. Definitely make this guy leader here. And I'm actually going to allow attach. Hopefully the Ottomans attach to him. We get the occupation. We do get the siege leader, so that's good. Free dip rep, I will take it. I will use my Ottoman friends that are attached to me to get a stack sieging down Damascus. Actually, it'd be nice to actually siege these guys down too. They're all being integrated right now, so that's pretty nice. Mamluks probably be weaker if they had integrated their subjects first, actually. So it's just good to keep be aware of that. We might be preemptive in this war. It might have been probably better to actually fight QQ again first. But our truce with them is not till 64, and we're moving pretty quick. So we're a little bit behind on our techs. Mamluks are going to probably be taking Tech 5 soon. At least the Ottomans have Tech 5, so that's not a problem. At a certain point, religious unity is going to be a little screwed up, so we're going to go ahead and take the protected Dominion communities. Our leader did die, and I did boost my stab up a little bit, but to get that religious unity under control, probably wise to take that click at some point. Our air is not very good, but that is what it is. I guess we're going to be going towards the legalism here, which is fine. We're actually still going to be going negative due to our privilege, so eventually we'll be going towards the negative point. But I think overall, if we get legalism, it's not a big deal because we are behind on admin tech, and that tech discount from legalism is always very good. While the Ottomans' capital is sieged down, that's not very good. What's their 45? Minus 45? Man, if they peace out of this war, I'm going to be SOL, actually. I can't let them get the Damashrik back. That general, I need some help from the Ottomans to help make sure we don't lose this. They are Tech 5, and I'm not Tech 4 yet, so I can't win that fight. There's no way. I need to pick up a stack. If we lose it, we lose it. I'm actually going to try and peace out Karaman early here. That will help speed this along. All right, let's peace out Karaman for white peace. Maybe we can do the same to Kandar, and hopefully the Ottomans can reoccupy their stuff over here and help us out against the Mamluks before they decide to peace out of the war. At least we have Haleb, even if we lose Damascus, it's fine. All right, we take the next level of tech. We need to make sure our morale can improve. Hopefully they don't get the siege, because if they do, we might be SOL. They did not. Yeah, we're just going to be trading sieges, I think, here until we get our morale recovered. We need to make sure that we can match them on tech. And also, if I can, I'll take one of these advisors for morale or discipline. Reinforcements are on their way. Nice. All right. Now we need to occupy this before the Ottomans do, and we should be good to go. Getting these occupations is super important. And they're dealing with my rebels for me. Oh, what a bro. They need to get back to the Balkans, man. For some reason, that's just... The 6K stack is just causing issues. Maybe I'll do that for them. After I occupy what I need, I'll deal with their problems at home, and they can fight the Mamluks on their turf. Because I definitely can't take more than this. So as long as we get those occupations, we should be fine. Let's spy network on Qara Qoyonlu. After this war, we will be declaring war on them, making sure that we use our truce timers effectively. Because we're so far behind on admin, I will actually take the 5% CCR. I usually like to take the tax farming second, but I think the 5% CCR is just going to be good because we need to be spending our admin. And if we can make a saving on that, that is beneficial. We are ahead of time on our dip, so actually I will take the Meshriki accepted culture. That'll really help our economy as well. So I will actually take the 5th idea a little bit ahead of time with the penalty from Renaissance. And what I recommend for your first idea group is actually quality. For the Saladin's Legacy, I found that quality into economic into quantity was I think the best choice of action, because you get the force limit and you get the infantry combat ability and the discipline, and everything that goes along with economic ideas is also very beneficial for making some money. So definitely I think quality being the first option. Also, this first click you take is very, very high value for being the first idea in the set. So once we can afford it, we will take that, and that will help us win our battles a lot easier. Okay, so Now that we have occupied their capital, we can take 8 provinces over here. That's what we need. We need 8 for the mission. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 beautiful provinces. We also can take some money. We'll get some of that. Only 18 because the Ottomans, I guess, did more work than us. So we'll go ahead and we'll send that demand. This does cause a bit of a coalition, but I don't think it really matters because we have truces with the ones that do matter. The other ones are teeny tiny. So let's make sure we complete our missions. So we get turned against the Mamluks, permanent claim on Palestine and Jordan. We also get 20 years of discipline. We can also move our capital to Damascus at any point with our decision. So let's go ahead actually and see if we can concentrate anything and we core anything up. We also get the last bastion, so we get some manpower and fort maintenance by getting our capital to a certain level of dev. We are going to buy down our war exhaustion twice, and I think we are going to start our cores. Let's deal with our rebels and get ready to go to war with QQ. And I think after that war, more or less, this guide will be finished. So we've defeated the Mamluks. Ottomans are our allies for now. We'll keep using them against the Mamluks as long as they will be our friends. And then at a certain point, they'll probably break that alliance with us and we can turn on them. They're pretty weak this game because, A, they haven't fought the wars they usually fight because they've been helping us. And also, they cannot possibly get the Mamluks defeated and integrate their land. So we have basically hindered the Ottomans and the Mamluks at the same time. From here, I think we fight QQ. We're going to call in Ajam to help us out, as well as the Great Horde. Just have to make sure that we occupy all the stuff we want before Ajam does. So they do want quite a few provinces, but as long as we get these like 6 here, we should be okay. Because the rest is set as our high interest provinces. We're going to set the war goal as Tabriz so that they give it to us for sure, especially if they get the siege of it. And we're going to make sure that we send our 1 stacks to siege the stuff that we want to occupy. Alrighty, now that we have all the occupations that we want, we're going to take something like this in the peace deal, and we're going to send that demand. We can probably not, actually, we can't concentrate from anything aside from this state here. We're going to go ahead and do that. And yeah, we can start all coring this stuff. I want to make sure that we sort by overextension and core the stuff that is cheapest. And we want to get those done as soon as possible. That is a pretty solid Hisn Kayfa. Actually, I believe we're probably on the great power list. No, not quite. Yeah, that bumps us up to the number 5 great power, ahead of the Ottomans, by the way. We have more dev than the Ottomans. So, yeah, this strategy is pretty broken. Using the Ottomans to fight on day 1, even though they cannot take any provinces. So basically abuse the favors mechanic a little bit, and we're able to gain a lot of land very quickly. The downside is that we are a bit behind on tech. We need to find the way to get institution. If we can ally somebody like Theodora or Genoa that can sell it to us, that'd be ideal. And then we definitely will dev colonialism in Baghdad at a certain point. We could dev Renaissance in Baghdad, but being so far behind on tech already, I don't want to spend those points. So definitely find an ally that you can buy the institution from. If the Ottomans beat up on Byzantium, they usually spawn the Renaissance at some point in Constantinople. So that's an option there. You can make the Ottomans sell it to you. So from here, what I would do basically is wait for the Mamluks truce to end, see if the Ottomans will help you in that war again. Otherwise, you can break your alliance with the Ajam at this point. You don't need them anymore. And maybe fight Fars or Hassa or Hormuz. Just try to get a lot of the trade going into the Basra node because you'll be collecting in Aleppo for most of the game. So yeah, that's pretty much the situation here. From at this point, you can fill out the rest of your mission tree, eventually betray the Ottomans and move into Anatolia. But we definitely be full stating all of these provinces here in Levant and in Persia. Everything in the Hormuz node, I would trade company, but I would statify most of Persia, Basra, and all of the Levant, because that's where you're going to be getting a lot of your economy from. At this point, I probably could fix my tower situation and my economy, kind of play a little bit slower to catch up on my techs now that we have our power base. We don't need to be expanding as rapidly, and we can slowly fill out the rest of the mission tree and get the achievements for Hisn Kayfa. And if you want to see a campaign where we actually fulfill the Hisn Kayfa achievements, make sure to click on the video linked at the end of this, and you will see that campaign. It is quite a fun achievement run, and we turned into probably the strongest nation in the world, almost turned it into a world conquest. Could still do it if we wanted to, there's plenty of time, but from Hisn Kayfa to a world conquest, definitely doable. You guys should check that out. With that being said, guys, I hope you did enjoy this little guide. If you want to see more specific nation guides, make sure to leave a comment down below suggesting which nation that you want to see me play for a guide next. With that being said, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this valuable, and as always, I will see you next time.